Good evening, everybody watching tonight, this lovely chilled evening. We ending off what should have been quite a cold weekend, but I'm not too sure. I think today we did see a bit of sun. I hope everybody's doing well. Tonight we're going to have a lovely topic. Our theme this evening is unstoppable. And I just thought it's so funny because now it's not just even about the coronavirus and lockdown level 3.2.0. It's now also load shedding, schedule of what team or whatever. We used to make a lot of jokes about this actually at the beginning
Yes.
of COVID, wondering when load shedding would rear its head. And then now, in our 6 o'clock slot, we have Pastor Mariana that's in load shedding, and we have
Yes.
Yolandi who also would have fallen in the load shedding area. So, Pastor Mariana, thank you for being a great example of what unstoppable looks like.
Maybe I should show you girls what unstoppable looks like. There you can see I have my lights, and there's all my candles, and I've got a candle up there, up on the thing, and and I have another thing here. So you know what? And our hotspots. Hotspots are wonderful things, and that's the thing. We don't allow life to stop us. We don't allow things to get us down. We just keep going. And I want to say it's just really good to be with you in your home this evening. And I'm believing God for great things, that tonight's going to be an awesome evening.
Yeah, speaking of tonight, as per usual, we want to know who's watching, where you're watching from. So if you can just give us a wave on social media, on our Facebook or YouTube platforms, and say hello so we can say hello back at you. As I mentioned as well, we've also got Yolandi sitting in that she's going to share some wonderful lockdown stories. Yolandi, do you want to say hello to anybody?
Hello, hi mom.
I can see at the moment we've got 11 people watching with us, but no hellos as yet. So, just as per usual, let's get our sharing going. I
Yes.
love to encourage everybody to share, share, share. And the beautiful part about social media and technology is that this video is still available even if you can't make it at the 6 o'clock slot. And our first hello this evening comes from the Hutchinson family. They're watching all the way from Stutterheim. Hello, Yvette and the little ones and your husband. We hope you're doing well. How's the weather down there? I can imagine it's probably a little bit more frosty than over here. If you could just let us know as well. Um, so tell me, Pastor Mariana, what do you think of when you hear the word unstoppable?
I actually just believe that there comes a stage in our lives when we know where we're going, and there's always going to be something that's going to happen to try and stop us getting where we want to go. But it's this determination to press through whatever it takes, and to just keep going. We can just lie down and play dead so easily, but I believe that I know what I believe in, and I know what my goal is, and I'm going to get there, and by the grace of God.
Yeah, I can just imagine. I know when COVID started rearing its head in South Africa, let alone the world, I think we were all watching everything unfold with Wuhan and then slowly hitting the other European countries. And then, of course, Italy. Everyone had their eyes on Italy. But as soon as it became a home based sort of thing, and I still remember, hearing President Cyril Ramaphosa's first announcement that
Yeah,
we would be going into hard lockdown. It almost felt like, the country was about to come to a standstill, to a stop.
it really did. It really, that's exactly what it felt like. And I think everybody got scared. And I think fear, honestly, has got more people in lockdown than anything else.
I can imagine. I remember reading on social media, just sometimes I wish we could have just locked down social media for a quarantine over a period, because we don't realize like how much our words have power, how much our thoughts dictate our actions, and we do certain things. And I was quite surprised to see how many believers were reacting and so forth to the whole crisis. But at the end of the day, we're all in this boat together.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. What do you think, Yolandi? It's been quite a thing to change your direction, hasn't it?
Yes, it was. In the beginning, I was like, oh no, I'm going to be stuck in my house with my family for like 21 days. And then after 21 days, it was like more than 21 days. And I was like, oh, but it actually like, it wasn't that bad, because I just like the whole time had like my eyes focused on Jesus, and I was like, I'm not gonna get distracted by what the world says, because I know my King, I know my Daddy in heaven, and I know He will take care of us. So I was like, eyes on Jesus, I'll be fine. So yeah.
We just want to say a few more hellos as people are coming on board. We want to say hello to the Lotterings, Marie and Pastor James. Welcome this evening, as well as Lizelle Nicker. Hello, Lizelle. Thank you for watching with us this evening. And Yvette did confirm Stutterheim is very, 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 very cold. I can imagine how that feels. And as we've spoken about lockdown, I think we've paid a lot of attention to things that have taken place during lockdown, our fears, dealing with anxiety, the changes and adapting and everything that's taken place. But we thought tonight we'd take a little bit of a different spin and actually focus on some of the positive things that have come out of lockdown. Because in every situation, I don't know, me personally, I feel there's two sides to a coin. So you can either look at the fear side, you can look at the devastation and so forth, but there is another side to it. And I think there's quite a few of us that can actually share about some good out of it. So I actually want to encourage those that are watching this evening, while we're busy having this chat and while Pastor Mariana is sharing her message, why don't you tell us about some of the good that has come out of lockdown for you and your family? I see.
I'm trying to find my things that have fallen in the dark. But okay. This is lockdown, load shedding. You have to understand that life has many things that happens to it. But many of the afflictions of the righteous, but God, He takes us out of them all, doesn't He? Okay, ready.
That's right.
Again, go on. Who have we got online, Tess?
We've got, I apologize in advance. I don't know if it's Glenise or Glennis Collins, also watching with us this evening. And that's all that's popping up on my screen for now. So, Pastor Mariana, I think let's get into the conversation.
Yes, no, absolutely. Yeah. Tess, what things have happened to you, have you learned in lockdown? What has been your biggest lessons that you've learned that's been good?
I think off the bat, I mean, coming from a lifestyle that's very busy, that's very labor intensive in terms of, working every day in business, serving in ministry, managing family. For me, I pleasantly welcomed a lockdown, staying at home, and actually just stopping and taking in and restocking everything that was going on around me. So one of the good things that came out of lockdown for me in the beginning, besides for getting some much needed rest, was being able to refocus. So we as a family, I mean, we took a few days in the week where we set aside, we made vision boards, we looked at where are we at in terms of family, where are we at in terms of business, where do we want to go. And I mean, it wasn't always easy because our businesses were closed for just over a month with no income coming in. So you know, you had to really know where you were grounded. So I think what helped us a lot was focusing on promises. So every time we felt we had a bit of a dip day, I mean, we had people that we'd reach out to and say, hey, can you just cover us in prayer today? You know, we're struggling with this. And then when we go into prayer time, we would say, Lord, we remember, we thank you, you said this word, you've spoken this word over our businesses. And that, I think, got us a lot through the what would seem the darker times.
Exactly. That well said. And Yolandi, you got some awesome stories to share with us.
I do. I don't know if it's that awesome, but I think it's awesome. Well, in the beginning of lockdown, like the first 21 days, we decided as a family, like, let's like try and do something fun. Let's really every single day do something different. So we have this like huge white board marker thing. And then we would have like a little section where we would just write our names. And then so every time we play a game, we would like put the score down so you can see who's the best person in like normal games like Uno in 30 seconds. I'm the best, I'm in the lead. And then we also had like a little space where we could write little quotes. So every morning someone else in the family would like write a little quote, something just to like motivate us. And then we had like a to-do list on this board. And every time we did something, we like ticked it off. So it was like satisfying to be able to say tick, okay. So in the beginning, we did a lot of things together. Like we repacked the kitchen, we repacked the cupboards, we like the stuff my dad did in the garden was pretty cool. We have now a very small little vegetable garden going as well. So we've been doing a lot of things like that. And then also we have been the communion in the mornings has been amazing. So we've been doing that together, which has been really special to do it together as a family. And we also, it's quite crazy, in my 23 years of being alive, I've never had like a worship, a praise and worship like together with my mom and my dad and my brother, like never. And it's actually quite sad that a lockdown had to come for us to do it. But for the first time, we as a family did praise and worship together, and it was so awesome. So we've been doing all of that, and then actually, like I think it's a little bit of a testimony. I would say, I've never ever in my life played piano in front of people, like ever. And I was put in like a position where it was like you kind of have to play now. And for the live worship, it was the first time I've ever played like in front of people. Luckily I couldn't see anyone because I would have been very nervous. And it was prophesied over me before, like I think more than 2 people prophesied say that, you know, your worship, it's gonna happen behind the piano. And it happened in lockdown. So yeah.
Wow.
Don't you want to tell us about your culinary skills?
Oh, I am now Chef Yolandi. So I've been trying to make food because say again.
When am I coming for dinner?
Yeah, now that's pressure now.
No, so
I cannot make food at all. I suck. I could probably do like scrambled eggs on toast. And this lockdown, I was like, no man, like I want to be that wife one day that cooks for her husband. You know, I need to do things right here. So I was like, let's try things. And I've tried everything. I made lemon meringue, which that's crazy. I tried that. I made, what else did I make? A lot of biscuits for days. Chocolate brownies, samosas. I tried to make samosas. Actually came out quite nice. So yeah, I've been in the kitchen and it's been so much fun. Iced coffee, because I mean I had to go without Seattle coffee for a few days, which was quite hectic. because everyone who knows me will know I always have a Seattle coffee in my hand. So I had to wing it at home and make my own coffee. But yeah, no one is like had food poisoning, so that's good.
Wow, that sounds awesome. No, well done. And whoever you one day marry, the right Mr. Right is going to be very happy for lockdown. How's that? I want to just quickly, before we go on, because I want us to cue a video to do now. I want of what some of our parents did with their children during lockdown. You know, all right, I'm first going to tell the crazy thing and then I'll tell the story. But I want to say a note of warning. Just be careful, because people are going crazy from being in lockdown. I know a lot of people have found lockdown very crazy, and I got this from my crazy friend, Robin Tom Rogers, who I am actually hosting on Wednesday for communion. And she's speaking to me from Louisville, Kentucky. And she kept me up all yesterday for hours, telling me millions of things. It was great fun. But she sent me this, and it was really funny. Just because people are going crazy from being in lockdown. Actually, I've just been talking about this with the microwave and toaster while drinking coffee, and all of us agreed that things are getting bad. I didn't mention anything to the washing machine, as she puts a different spin on everything. Certainly not to the fridge, as he's been cold and distant. In the end, the iron straightened me out, as she said everything will be fine. No situation is too pressing. The Hoover was very unsympathetic, told me to just suck it up. But the fan was more optimistic and hoped it would all soon blow over. The toilet looked a bit flushed when I asked its opinion and didn't say anything, but the doorknob told me to get a grip. The front door said I was unhinged, and so the curtains told me to, yes, you guess it, pull myself together. What on earth is going on? And I want to say that's about it. I think sometimes it's time for us to say, pull yourselves together and do something positive, and keep your eyes focused. And I love that, that you guys kept your eyes focused and did some positive things. And we're going to share 2 videos with you of some of our children, because, you know, I think that children get very unsettled at times like this. And it's so important for us as parents to keep the children focused on answers, and having a real relationship with God. And on that note, if you're a parent, get your children to watch at 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning. We have children's church at 8 o'clock on the Sunday morning. Or you can watch it later. It's still on YouTube and Facebook. And it's been really awesome. I've been very, very proud of our team and what they've been doing. But watch these parents. The one parent was homeschooling. And this is how they would start their homeschooling day. precious. I know it was all sideways, but life has been a bit sideways nowadays. So it's quite appropriate to have the video playing sideways. And then we've got another very special little lady, and she was being taught about communion. And it's such important because our children watch us. I think that communion has become more special and precious to us during this time, with communions every morning on online, as Yolandi has just shared, with they take communion together as a family. But we've started to really understand. But here I'm going to show you how, because children watch us and they want to know, Mommy, what are you doing? What is this all about? And it's important for us to give our children answers.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus,
For your blood
for your blood
that was shed for me,
was shed for me,
so that I can live
so I can live
in victory.
in victory.
Amen.
Amen. Now can I drink the juice?
Isn't that just too awesome? I love that when I saw it. And it's so important for us to actually do this and to teach our children the ways of God practically, just there. I working with children just about all my life, and one thing I've learned is that there are teachable moments with children. And that it's the teachable moments that the children learn the most in, and so those were teachable moments. That worship is a lifestyle, and unstoppable in worship is a lifestyle. Unstoppable in serving God as a family is a lifestyle. With Lady and her family doing things together, but starting to worship. And Yolandi has become such a worshiper. And I mean, you put Yolandi on, and she's on for worship on Tuesday. And I mean, the likes and the views go through the roof because there's such an anointing on Yolandi. I've been very blessed by this. She's always said, I don't want to be a performer. If I have to perform, I don't want to do it. I want to do it to worship. And Yolandi, keep that beautiful heart of worship. Keep that beautiful attitude. It isn't about being the big star on the platform. It's about keeping a heart of really, really doing for Christ. And what is this all about? What's happening? The world's saying, what's happening? For goodness sake, why? What's going? Because there's nothing. There's no country in this world that's stable at this point. Not one. They're all absolutely in turmoil. They don't know where they're going. And I was in First Chronicles 12:32. A group of people joined David, and it says from the tribe of Issachar, and there were 200 leaders of the tribe with their relatives, and they understood the signs of the times. And I think, I'm not saying Jesus is coming tomorrow, but he's coming. And it's the last days of preparation. And I believe more than anything else, it's a time for the bride to be prepared for the coming. And I was talking to Tess earlier, and I was saying, Tess, what were the things that you did before you got married? What made you prepare as a bride? What did you get ready?
Well, I got my body ready. So I fervently sought the gym and ate healthy so that I could fit into my wedding dress. So I prepared myself physically. I prepared myself mentally. You know, you can never not invest enough in your future. So we would do pre-marriage course. We did the pre-marriage course, you know, read up on it. I don't think anybody knows what they're getting into when they get married. So we get prepared there. And then spiritually, just I clung to Jesus throughout the whole process. Because I think it's important that you have something that is steadfast and foundational. So yeah, and then also you prepare financially. So I mean, you're aware big expenses are coming. So you nip some expenses to save up for the things you hope for, you know. So there's different things that had to get ready. It's just not a case of that's the date and I'll see you there and that's it.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing, you know, and there was a lot of preparation. You didn't just do it. I believe that God is preparing his bride. I think that there's a lot of things that he's getting us to look at and deal with, and in this whole situation. But I was talking to Pastor Abby the other night, and she told me a precious story. Saying that when just after Pastor Denver and Renee moved to Tanzania, they had gone over to see living, but they also went to a wedding. And apparently the bride was minute. And so the next morning, the bride came along to their house before going away on honeymoon and left her dress there. So Mercedes, she was tiny, and so they took Mercedes and Jordana, and they put them on a chair, and they dressed these little things in the bride's dress, and they looked at themselves in the mirror, and they were all so excited to see what they were looking like, and then Renee said to Abby, you know, this is what we're supposed to be doing with the bride. We're supposed to be preparing people for the coming of Christ. And I more than anything else tonight, I want to prepare you out there listening to us for the coming of Christ. Are you ready? Are you ready? And in this lockdown, have you lived your life with purpose? Have you been unstoppable in your determination to get to the end, to finish the race, to not drop your guard? And you know, it's easy for all of us. All of us have not found lockdown easy. I tell you what, if there's anybody who has not found lockdown easy, my husband's one of those, because he's a doer. He wants to be out. He wants to be out and about. But you know what? Even in lockdown, he's learned to hang clothes on the washing line. But, you know, do things that he's never done before. And become a more, you know, sort of, you can't keep, and we start to do things, life differently. And I hope that this has taught you to appreciate more than anything else, to appreciate the gathering together, coming together with people. You know, I know some people want to be on their own, but we are created to be together, and God is wanting to prepare for us more than anything else. And you know what? Ephesians 5:27 says he wants to present himself a radiant church, without spot, without stain, without wrinkle, or any blemish, but holy and blameless. And I want to challenge you tonight. Is that how you are coming out of lockdown? Radiant. Getting rid of the anger, the bitterness, the unforgiveness, the spots that you know, those touchy spots on that people must never just put their finger onto. Those things that have kept us back from being the kind of person that's so radiant that you want to serve, that people want to serve the God you've got. I remember meeting a lady when I was a little teenager, and we went to her home, and that woman radiated Jesus. If there was anybody that ever made me want to serve God, it was that woman. She had something inside of her. And isn't that, you look at a bride on her wedding day. Have you ever seen an ugly bride? No, I haven't. Really. Brides are always absolutely gorgeous. Why? Because they radiate. There's something beautiful about them. And I really believe that it's God wants to deal with those little things inside of us, those hidden things. And lockdown's been a good time for us to do some introspection if we've allowed God to do that. And I trust that God's going to do that with you, that he's going to do the introspection in your life that you need. And Matthew 25, I was reading, the kingdom of heaven will be like 10 bridesmaids who took their lamps and went to meet the bridegroom. 5 of them were foolish and 5 were wise. The 5 who were foolish didn't take enough oil for their lamps, but the other 5 were wise enough to take extra oil. And when the bridegroom was delayed, they all became drowsy and they fell asleep. And at midnight, they were roused by the shout, "Look, the bridegroom is coming." And I've watched many people, and I hope you're not one of them, who's fallen asleep, whose your walk with God is not where it used to be. Or you were backslidden way before lockdown began. And maybe you're beginning to seek God because everybody is talking about the fact that things are different, that life has changed, that there's nothing the way it used to be. And I was listening to I was reading an article, and it was a totally secular person. And that secular man said that the people that are managing to come out of this and stay focused and keep vision and succeed as they come out are the people who have a relationship with a higher being. Well, the ones that have relationship with a higher being and a real relationship are us as Christians. And he was saying that they're the ones that are managing to keep hope, keep focus, keep life, keep going, be unstoppable in their motivation in this time. And I've heard the most amazing testimonies coming out, and how people who did life right are getting such amazing opportunities in the workplace, how they're getting promotions, how they're getting uncommon favor that has come upon people who have done their life right. And I want to suggest to you tonight, maybe there's people here that don't even know Jesus, and you've kind of stumbled upon us and wondering what's this lady looking, sitting in half dark. Well, it's lockdown, and it's we've been load shedding, but I refuse to load shed in this house. I refuse to let anything get down. We're going to keep on. As for me and my house, we're going to serve God, and we're going to keep going. And we're going to do what's right in the sight of God and live right, life right. And and as Tess said, being ready is getting prepared, looking at your life and say, God, I want to serve you better than I ever served you before. I want to be in your word more than I ever have before. And I want to do life in the way that really pleases you, because the bride, you want, when you walk down that aisle, you want your bridegroom to look at you and go, oh wow, I am a lucky man. And that's it's almost, I know that it's a stupid almost illustration, but I believe that God looks down on us when we do things right, when we're worshiping. I'm sure he looked down on that Barnard family when they were as a family sitting just worshiping together. And he said, oh, well done, my good and faithful servants. You are making my heart so happy. And Tess and Justin, and as Tess taught her children in the middle of everything, what things are about. I think those things they count for eternity. And I'm living life for eternity. I'm living life because there is eternity. And I want to say to you, there is a heaven to gain. There is a heaven to gain. But there is also a hell. And people don't like talking about hell. But the truth is that we have to make a choice in our own lives. Where am I going to go? Lighters or not, all of us, the one thing we're all assured of is the fact that life will end, and that we will die. And I've watched so many people get so frightened because there's people dying all around us. Everybody, every one of us now knows somebody that has died of coronavirus, and the fear that has come upon people. But as for a coronavirus will not come near my house. I refuse to accept it. And I believe that I live under Psalm 91. He that dwells in the secret place of the Most High will abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And I say, he is my shield. He is my protector. He's my God. In him I can trust. And I've often looked at that shield and I thought of that shield, that shadow that's falling over my life all the time. And as I keep my eyes focused, I'm going to see the reward that God comes from that. And I'm not going to go any, because we don't want to keep this long, but I trust that you are absolutely determined to make it to the end, to finish this race, to do it, not limp over the end. But even if you limp over the end, as long as you finish it. We all fall along the way, but we get up and we go again. And I want to say to you, maybe one or two of you have fallen in this down time, and you've almost because of all kinds of things, you have gone into things that you shouldn't have. And I want to challenge you tonight. Are you going to live your life to be pleasing to the Lord, pleasing to the bridegroom, because the bridegroom is coming?
Amen. Pastor Mariana, I loved what you shared there, and it just made me think, tonight is such a great example of just persevering, because I think in most circumstances when you get not hit with things or excuses come your way, so like an excuse could be, oh, but the power cuts off then, so I don't have electricity then, or or my daughter, whatever the case may be, then we so easily just say, okay, well, we can skip this round, we can stop this, or we, and tonight we did not, we persist, because it's the plan of God to just keep doing what you're doing. And I just love that. And I just want to say thank you, Pastor Mariana, because I know in my life you are a great example of a woman that doesn't give up, a woman that's resilient, that just goes forward. And it's so important that we become that to others around us. Because that story with Lizzie, I mean, that blew me away, because it wasn't a case, just for a backstory on that, everybody watching, it wasn't a case of like, okay, Lizzie, do these things, I want to do a video quickly. It was a case of I'm doing my own morning time, and Lizzie shot in, and I had a choice. I can either say like, okay, I'm not going to have my quiet time now because my daughter's here, or I can be like, no, she needs to adapt. I'm going to spend time with the Lord. She needs to fit into this. And she did communion with me once. And then 2 days after that, she came out of her own and said, Mommy, can we do the thing with the bread and the blood? It took me a while to figure out what she was saying. But when she did it, it just reminded me, the responsibility that I have as a mother and what I impart. But I think so on a much bigger scale, us as born again believers, I mean, if we call ourselves children of God, then it's what are we presenting to others? How are we showing others a different way, a better way? That sort of thing. That's why I asked Yolandi to share some of those stories, because I just thought that's so beautiful. There's so many other things we could be doing with lockdown. We could be wasting the time, but you can make the most of it, and there is the most out of it to be made.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm so proud of you girls, and so proud of many of our people. I hear such amazing things coming out of our girls. And then we had that cool Zoom thing on where we got the girlfriends and the big reveal. And Tess, tell us a little bit about our big reveal. What did we share on Thursday night?
Yeah, so Thursday night we had a fun evening with the Pastor Mariana's Connect leaders and their Connects, just to explain what is happening with Arise this year, because I'm sure some women have been wondering, and we have been a little bit quiet, because honestly, I think by now we all kind of hoped there'd be more of a normal, but I think we learning to adapt, that for now this is normal, but we will still work with it. So to announce what we announced on Thursday night, Arise will still be going forward. We will still have Arise. Arise will still be the 4th of September, the 4th and the 5th of September. You will still need to register. You can have a look. We'll be launching on our social media platforms tomorrow on how to register and what you need to know about the changes in Arise. But this year, Arise will be an online exclusive experience. So what does that mean? It means that when you register, you will get all the information you need to enjoy Arise with us, including a link to a private YouTube stream. So we will still be working hard in the background to make Arise as fun and inclusive as possible. Yes, we might not have Pamper Zone, we might not have our food trucks, but we've got a kitchen in our house. I just had to throw that in. We've got our own kitchens. We're going to be doing some fun things, as well as tackle some current relevant topics. So you can look forward to worship in your home. You can look forward to an amazing word, as always, as every year is. And as I mentioned, we'll be doing some things together. We might not be in the same room, but we can still stay connected. So follow our Facebook page, Arise Girlfriends, as well as our Instagram. Yolandi heads that up. She does an amazing job. And yes, and if you want to get involved somehow, we've got some things still coming forth. So we're very excited for the changes that are happening.
Yes, I absolutely am. I'm excited about it. And what's going to happen is that we'll be doing it from the platform, and it's going to take different sets, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. And we want to keep Arise with the same Arise experience that we've always said. And so keep watching, and and you're going to see amazing things. But is there anybody online that has asked us, said anything, Tess?
Let's just have a look here. For Yolandi, Charlene Rademeyer has said, awesome, Yolandi Barnard. The only way to learn is put yourself in the kitchen. So you're doing the right thing, Yolandi. We have the Boeters, Elise and Stephen watching with us. Pastor Jimmy, also unstoppable. He is watching during the blackout. And hello from Han and Jeanette van Vleder. And then I also just want to say a special hello to Sherry Fouchier, who says she's watching for the first time from Dispatch. Good evening, Sherry. I hope you have been enjoying it with us this evening. And that is the most of it. So just in wrapping up, I thought maybe Yolandi, as a young person during lockdown, do you have any sort of tips or advice you'd like to give fellow young people that are stuck at home during this time still?
Well, I think one thing that I've learned was to surround myself with the right friends, and even though we can't see each other, like at least like WhatsApp each other, FaceTime each other, just call each other, and just have like the right people to like keep you like motivated and just always like supporting you. And then also social media has been been scary for the positive in the social media, because there is pages that like motivates each other. I mean, for example, the Arise page, which I've been doing now, like we really want like young girls, young women, even the older ladies to like join in and like share things. And like we made a post saying, hey guys, we want to pray for you. So like you can just, if you have anything that you're struggling with, like you can just comment on there and we can pray for you. And like even if you just want someone to talk to, like even me, like you can follow me on Instagram and I'll like chat with you and I'll, you know, pray for you if anyone needs that. So I think always just surrounding yourself with people that will lift you up and not bring you down really helps a lot in this time. So yeah.
Thank you, Yolandi. Just to start wrapping up, I want to remind everybody during the week, we have live communion Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And if I'm not mistaken, Pastor Mariana, do we not have Pastor D with us tomorrow for live communion? There was a bit of a swap between Matthew and Pastor D.
Pastor D tomorrow.
Pastor Denver Marks,
Yep.
Prophet Denver Marks with us tomorrow at 11. And then we have, as mentioned, worship with Yolandi at 11 on Tuesday. And then we also have a live worship on Thursday as well. And then don't forget, Sunday mornings.
Wednesday,
Who's Wednesday?
Wednesday, I have Robin Tom Rogers. And she is one accurate prophetess. Quite the lady. She's crazy, and you're going to love Robin, and she's going to be with us, getting up really early in Louisville to be with us on Wednesday.
Yes, I still remember she's been some of a guest speaker, possibly for Rise Girlfriends, if not years ago. And yes, and then our Sundays, don't forget to drive in church at 11:30, as well as our 9 a.m. morning service. And then we will be here again next week, Sunday at 6 o'clock with another awesome topic and some wonderful speakers. So in closing, Pastor Mariana, any final words before we end off in worship?
Well, I just really want to speak blessing over you all this week. I want to say, may the Lord bless you. May he keep you. May his face shine upon you, and be gracious to you, and may you have peace in your heart and in your home. And I've asked for us to bring from our lockdown, when we could only do worship via Zoom and things like that. I want us to play out with, I'm going to see a victory, and I believe that there's victory for us, all of us. See victory in your life. Don't see defeat. See see the beautiful. There's always beauty in every situation. Go to make up your mind every morning to get up and say, I'm going to touch somebody's life today. Even if you send them a WhatsApp or if you pick up a phone. I know it's difficult to get to see people, but do something to touch somebody else's life. And then, of course, I just want to encourage everyone that Project Hope is still packing bags, it's still giving out things. And if you go onto the Project Hope Facebook page, you can also see some of the things that they're going to be doing for Mandela Day. And you can take part in that as well. It's part of giving. You see, generosity brings joy. Giving brings joy. Living a life that is, we can become so selfish with our lives, but living a generous life is a very, very rewarding way of living. So make up your mind to live life generously and to see the beauty in everything around you, and be blessed as we listen to the worship. Have a good week.
Falls and won't prevail, 'cause the God I serve knows only how to triumph. My God will never fail. My God will never fail. I'm gonna see victory. I'm gonna see victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see victory. I'm gonna see victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. Oh, There's power in the mighty name of Jesus. And every war he wages, he will win. And I'm not backing down from any giant, no, 'cause I know how this story ends. I know how this story ends. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. I'm gonna see your victory. I'm gonna see your victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see your victory. I'm gonna see your victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see your victory.